Welcome to Daily Overdose.
No one said that the path is going to be easy. And it's not. We know life is rough, and we know there will be pain, and whether that pain is at the hands of an enemy or at the hands of nature or time or disease, there will be pain.
It's an urge. Truth be told, every champion has felt it. Every president has felt it. Every king has felt it. Every lion has felt it. Every winner has felt it. Every soldier has felt it. Every victorious person has felt it. The urge to quit.
Often when people are embittered and resentful and feel like they're victims, it's because really awful things have happened to them. Now, not always, but often. And so then the question is, well, if you're in a situation and something really awful is happened to you or has happened to you, then, well, why shouldn't you feel like a victim? And is there a better alternative? Thousands have come before you and they did just fine. So quit your complaining. And it's not because you have nothing to complain about. That's not the case. It's that that's not the right approach. The fact is, and this is such an optimistic fact, as well as a judgment in some sense, the fact is that if someone else can do it, so can you. And that's something, right? If you're reading about the great heroes in history, people who are in these terrible situations, and you see someone rise to the occasion, and then you can say, well, that was a person who did that, and I'm a person, and so maybe I have that capacity too, even though I don't know how to approach it.
Don't allow that inner doubt in you to tell you why you're not good enough. You ignore that inner voice and all of the external voices. Don't judge the possibilities for what you can do based upon the circumstances, because the circumstances won't determine who you are. Doesn't matter how many mistakes you've made. Doesn't matter how much money you've lost. In fact, I see it only as an investment. What you learn from life.
You don't stop when you're tired. You stop when you're done. You stop when you complete it and you execute it. This way you start separating the successful from the unsuccessful. Just because it says trial on the package, or tribulation on the package, or pain on the package, it don't mean it ain't a blessing inside, and most of you turn around when you see pain. But those of us who had a right perspective, we approach it when it say pain. When we see trial, tribulation, we don't give up or give in. We know the blessing is on the inside. We don't give up. We don't surrender. We don't quit. We see differently. Our perspective is different. And because our perspective is different, our outcomes are different. Our rewards are different.
If you haven't learned something from periods of suffering, if you haven't wrung the juices of your own pain and drank them, for your own nourishment, you have wasted your experience and missed the chance to expand the capacity for being stronger the next time. That these seasons arrive at your door. My mental outcomes were a consequence of my habits. And my habits were a consequence of my choices. It is true that character is to some extent innate. Our genetic makeup imbues in us certain proclivities. But it is as true that character is mostly a consequence of choices. We all make them, and we should make them deliberately with the knowledge that these choices are part of our responsibility toward a purpose other than our own selfish aim. That responsibility is to your family, friends, community, and country. You have purpose in this life. God has you here for a reason. You may not know it, but He does. Your job is to find it. No one else can. You need to understand that your purpose may be great in the eyes of the world, or it may be commonplace and seemingly small. Your purpose might be your family, your children. Your purpose might be tutoring a child and changing their life. Your purpose might be the business you started. Your purpose might be cleaning up your block. Your purpose might be in the help you give others. Your purpose might be in the example you set. Only you and God know. Only you and God need to know. Search until you find it. And until then, act as if you have it, because you're wasting time otherwise.
There's something in you that wouldn't allow you to stop. Dr. Howard Thurman, he said there's something in each and every one of you that waits and listens to the voice of the genuine in yourself. It will be perhaps the only guide you will ever have. And if you cannot hear it, all of your life, your days will be spent on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls. And I say to you, the reason you showed up, even though you couldn't afford to be here, the reason you drove hundreds of miles, flew around the world, there's something in you, in your heart of hearts, that said, I'm not going to let anybody pull my strings. It said, I'm going to control my own personal economy. It said, I've got a dream I want to achieve. I want my children to have a choice of the kind of education that they want. That said, I am the captain of my ship. That said, I'm going to control my destiny. And whatever it takes, I'm willing to do the work. 1961. President John F. Kennedy had a decision to make. The decision was whether or not to call a news conference and tell the world the United States was going to go to the moon. And I submit to you that the decision to do that was very risky. And what governed his thinking is what governed your thinking when you decided, I'm going to do this. See, the technology did not exist. The answer of what will it take did not exist. No one had ever done it before. But he made a decision. He looked at Werner von Braun, the most brilliant scientist of that day. And he said, Werner, what will it take for us to go to the moon? And he spoke 5 words. And those 5 words, I think, is what governs most entrepreneurs. Those 5 words, I think, is what give people like you the courage to pursue their dreams. Those 5 words is what I think people who are pioneers, people who are breaking new ground, make decisions on. He said, what will it take for us to go to the moon? And the response was, the will to do it. As you look at yourself, as you look at your business, what will it take for you to increase your business? The will to do it. What will it take for you to become more powerful in your presentation skills and be able to increase the number of people, to quadruple your business? The will to do it. What will it take for you when others are quitting because of the rejections, when others are stopping because they just become so discouraged and they have creditors breathing down their neck and they have family members and friends telling them they're a fool? What is it that will allow you to have the mental resiliency to keep on keeping on, to keep your commitment to your commitment? The will to do it. Every time I say it and ask you a question, I want you to say the will to do it. What will it take for you to build your business? What will it take for you to increase your recruiting? What will it take for you to bring out the greatness in you and to make your mark? What will it take for you to become a high achiever and to bring out the billionaire in you? Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, I've got the will. I've got the will.
Don't abort your mission out of frustration. When you are in the midst of a challenging situation, your mind will tell you that you are finished. Your mind will tell you that you may as well cut your losses now. Your mind will tell you that you are stuck and will probably be where you are right now for a long time. But your thoughts cannot be trusted when your emotions are high. Your thoughts cannot be trusted when you have just experienced rejection. Being rejected does not mean that you are not smart enough or talented enough. Rejection is a part of your journey to success. So don't get stuck in your disappointment. Instead of focusing on how unfair your situation is, I'm challenging you to use your frustration to push you harder. I want you to know that you are not finished. In fact, you are just getting started. You see, your trials and your difficult moments are just a part of your process. Your discomfort is actually helping you to transition into a stronger and a wiser version of yourself. And for someone who is listening right now, you are feeling discouraged. You're feeling discouraged because of what you've lost. But I want you to know that what you have left is all you need to rebuild. I'm going to say that again. What you have left is all you need to rebuild. Your brokenness signifies a new beginning. This is a new beginning for you. So this is not the time for you to slack off. This is not the time for you to go to your unhealthy coping mechanism, whatever that is for you. This is not the time for you to go into your room, turn off the lights, and pull the covers over your head. This is the time for you to go into warrior mode. The dreams that you have are not going to fall into your lap. We all want that. We all want the easy route. We all want it to happen fast. But the truth is that you've got to be willing to fight for what you want. And sometimes the person that you have to check is yourself. Yes, you heard that correctly. You have to check yourself because your dreams cannot become a reality without you. You have to be confident in you. You have to believe that you have what it takes. You have to declutter your mind. You have to make sure that you are managing yourself wisely, that you are making the right decisions. You have to make sure that you keep the promises that you have made to yourself. You have to envision what you want and refuse to let go until you get it. So what is going to enable you to finish? Well, there's a lot that goes into achieving your goals, so I don't want to make it sound like it's simple, but I can tell you this. Without extreme focus and tenacity, you will do a whole lot of starting, but very little finishing. So take note of this. Finishing requires focus. And you might even have to repeat that to yourself. Finishing requires focus. It's easy to become distracted, especially with all of the chaos that's going on in the world right now. But you have work to do. And so it's important that you keep your focus in the right place. It's important that you keep working towards crossing the finish line. The easiest way to sink into a state of depression is to become consumed by your problems. There is a difference between being aware of your problems and being consumed by them. So if your problems are all that you seem to think about, your focus is in the wrong place. It's going to be up to you to recognize when it's time to shift your focus. And so whenever your mind tries to take you to a place that pulls you into a state of despair, you got to shift your focus. When you entertain negative thoughts, it's like being in quicksand. Before you even realize it, you can go from having a simple negative thought to feeling discouraged. And this doesn't take a long time. It can happen in a matter of minutes. And once you lock into that negative thought pattern, it's really difficult to come out of it. And so this is why you have to recognize your negative thought patterns quickly and shift your energy immediately. And so this is the only time you have permission to find a distraction. So that might sound contradictory when I'm saying you have to focus, but listen to what I'm saying. You do have to focus, and that is why when your mind goes negative, you have to find a distraction so that you can get back to that place where you're able to be productive. So that might mean that you have to take a moment and go for a walk. That might mean that you have to put on your favorite song. That might mean you have to call a friend. The goal is to not become bound by your thoughts. That's the goal. That's how you're going to stay focused, to not become bound by what's going on around you. And the other thing you need to know is that you have to have tenacity. You have to have tenacity. So what is tenacity? Tenacity is about being persistent. Tenacity is about being able to withstand pressure. And I'm telling you, that is the one thing you're going to have to master. You're going to have to know how to withstand pressure, because if you want to go far in life, you're gonna experience some pressure. You cannot quit at the first sign of opposition. You cannot quit because your situation appears dismal. You've got to choose to get your energy up. You've got to choose to get your hopes up. You have to execute your plan and recognize that you have everything you need to finish. You can't just talk about wanting to win. You have to prepare to win, and you have to expect to win. So I have a question for you. Are you willing to finish? I don't want you to settle for an incomplete. I know that you have a lot going on, but are you willing to finish?
Thank you for watching our videos. Please like and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss another video.